The following video is a near-perfect example of how never to handle a traffic stop. This video was featured on Chille de Castro's channel. He was using it as an example of why people should buy his bogus trifold. But really, it's a better example of why you shouldn't. Almost nothing this woman does is correct, and that's probably because she has listened to Chille. All of my comments in the video will be confined to what the law is. Absolutely nothing should be construed as legal advice. In fact, it's not advice at all. It's pure commentary. You should always draw your own conclusions in my videos. Before we roll with the video, I'm going to show you one of my new trailers for my channel. I think it's my favorite, but I'd appreciate your input. Please leave me a comment about what you think of it.
But I don't know why you said my plates were expired and they're not. So then you said I didn't change my address.
The first time, but you are the vehicle we're looking for.
Yeah, but
Anytime you have to say, yeah, but, you know things are starting out badly.
But then you said I didn't change my address. So what does changing my address
Because
have
when
to
you
do
run
with
his
it?
plate, it still says that you live at the Front Street address.
Oh yeah, that's because I still get my mail there.
One of the most commonly required address changes relates to vehicle registrations and driver's licenses. This is an easily overlooked task, but every state requires you to update your address after any move, typically within 30 to 60 days. In Ohio, it is specifically 30 days. Chille probably views this requirement as some nefarious, giant governmental, Big Brother kind of thing. But it is not. There are a myriad of reasons that the government has a need to know where a person lives. For purposes of driving, these include, but are not limited to the following examples. If a person commits a traffic violation, is involved in a car accident, or blows through a toll lane without paying, the authorities need to know where to find them. Many states also use licenses, for purposes of voter registration, establishing residence and domicile, and for tax purposes. In most states, failure to update her address would actually result in a breach of her insurance contract. That could lead to a cancellation of the insurance policy or the denial of an accident claim. Throughout this video, the driver proclaims that she is completely legal and insured. But by not updating her address with the DMV, this might not be totally true.
I reported the whole thing. Oh good. Keep recording.
Go ahead and step on out here a second.
Okay, why?
Because I'm asking you to.
Police can tell drivers to exit their vehicles as long as it happened during a reasonable traffic stop. If the police have a valid reason to pull you over and then the officer decides he or she wants you to exit the vehicle, you have to follow that order. It does not violate your rights.
Oh, I'd like to just stay in my vehicle.
Now, this is a suspect. I'm probably going to tow this thing because this was involved in a pursuit last night.
I don't want to step out of the vehicle and make my niece uncomfortable.
Why do people of Chille's ilk feel that they control the situation during a traffic stop? I'll never understand that. During a traffic stop, the police control the circumstances of the situation. If the officer asks them to step out, then they are required by law to step out. Not only is this for officer safety, this can be incident to the vehicle being towed. I have no idea how this is going to upset her niece. If anything, that sounds like a cheap shit rationalization for not complying. At this point, she should have stepped out.
So I'm gonna stay in my vehicle. Well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. I just don't want to get out of my vehicle.
Well, first of all, if I'm asking you to step out, then there's a reason I'm asking you to step out.
Okay, but what
So-
is the reason?
Because we were involved in a pursuit with this vehicle. So if
Okay.
I tow it, which I'm probably going to do because I'm going to use it as evidence, where's the plate that was just on this vehicle?
There was no plate. This is the only vehicle. This is the only plate that I have on my vehicle.
Okay. So
I
there's no
literally
other
have
plate?
5 children at home. I have
There's no
no
other
reason to
plate?
run from the
There's no
cops.
other-
What difference does she think it makes that she has 5 children at home? I have 2 dogs and 9 house plants at home. None of that is relevant to this traffic stop. The officer has informed her that the vehicle was involved in a pursuit a few hours earlier, and the vehicle is probably going to be towed as evidence of that crime. Cases like this have been taken all the way to the Supreme Court. It is well settled law that she needs to step out of the vehicle, and it is not a violation of her rights.
I have 5 kids at home. I don't run from the cops, if that's what you're saying.
It is for sure.
195. Read me the VIN back off of that vehicle.
How would they have the VIN number from the car from last night?
In case you didn't hear her, she said, quote, "Oh damn, the VIN number from the car from last night." End quote. I will repeat it for you, so you can listen for it.
How would they have the VIN number from the car from last night?
That sounded a lot like a recognition and acknowledgement that the VIN number could be a problem for her. It also sounded like a confession that she knew that the vehicle was involved in a pursuit a few hours earlier. But that's just my opinion. Draw your own conclusions.
How would they have the VIN number from the car from last night? There's probably thousands of black Tahoes in Lisbon,
What's that?
so I can assume there's more black Tahoes in
Not with that
the
license
city.
plate.
There might be other black Tahoes in the city, but that one was unique in bearing that license plate. When looking at probable cause, the court will view the testimony of the police in the light most favorable to them. If the officer testified that a black Tahoe bearing those license plates was involved in a pursuit earlier in the morning, it can be found that probable cause exists. Probable cause uses a preponderance standard. That means that a given fact is, more likely than not, to be true. If you think in terms of the scales of justice, the beyond a reasonable doubt standard would have one side of the scale tipped all the way over. A preponderance standard, on the other hand, is like putting a feather on one side of an otherwise balanced scale. It only needs to tip it slightly.
I don't know why they would have my license plate then.
Because they were in a pursuit with this vehicle. What do we think when officers were blind or?
I don't know why they would be saying that, though. I definitely don't run from the cops. I have license, insurance. There's no reason for me to run from the cops.
In this case, it isn't the current driver that is alleged to have been involved in the pursuit. It's the vehicle. Also in this case, this would appear to fall under the vehicle exception to the Fourth Amendment provisions against unreasonable search and seizure. For educational purposes only, let me take a moment to explain the vehicle exception. This particular exception says that a vehicle may be searched without a warrant when the evidence may possibly be removed from the scene due to the inherent mobility of a vehicle, and it is not otherwise practical to secure a warrant without jeopardizing or losing that potential evidence. Here the vehicle was involved in a pursuit just a few hours earlier. The vehicle is highly likely to produce evidence of a crime, and because a vehicle is inherently mobile, destruction of that evidence is likely. The vehicle is to be seized and towed. Even if police believe that they have time to secure a warrant, because it is being towed, it would also be subject to an inventory search. An inventory search can serve 2 purposes in this instance. It can prove additional evidence of the crime, but it also protects the owner. Police will record all of the contents of the vehicle. That creates a list of items in the vehicle, so that the owner knows that they will end up getting non-evidence back, and that nothing was stolen during its time in storage.
Better come up with who was driving your car.
I can't pull a random name out of my butt. I would have no clue who would run from the cops in my car. My car hasn't went anywhere.
So you don't ever let your boyfriend drive your
I don't
car?
have a boyfriend.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have a
But
boyfriend.
somebody's been living with you.
Nobody
That
lives
they
with.
just
I'm not
kicked
allowed to
out
have a
yesterday.
vehicle.
They just
I'm not
kicked
allowed to
him
have a
out
man at my
The
house.
boy that was with you.
That's curious, isn't it? Why is she not allowed to have a man in her house? Does a custody provision forbid it? Is it probation related? We don't know. But later in the video she's going to admit to her baby's daddy being at the house earlier in the day. I know this might come as a shock to you, but earlier in the day, specifically, 3 a.m., was when the police pursuit occurred. So could the police draw a reasonable conclusion that there is a relationship between the presence of her baby daddy at her residence on the same day that her vehicle is involved in a pursuit.
This morning, and you left with this morning.
This morning?
Yeah, you left with a guy this morning.
Because are you guys watching my every move?
We are watching you, yes. So who's the guy that you left with this
there's
morning?
no reason to watch me. I literally do nothing. I have 5 children at home. I literally do nothing at all.
Copy, thank you. Who's the guy that you left with this morning?
I don't know why they have her address under surveillance. That is not discussed on the video. But surveillance is not something the police expend resources on, without cause. So it could be reasonably inferred that the police have some suspicion that illegal activity is occurring at her residence. They observed a male leaving her apartment that morning. Police are trained in the observation of people's vocal responses and attempts to evade incriminating themselves. Everything she is saying sounds like she's being evasive.
My son's father, all I did was take him to court.
Okay.
He doesn't live with me.
Well,
And he literally got dropped off this morning so that I could take him to court.
why didn't they just take him to court?
Because they only wanted to bring him this
He
far.
didn't go to court today. He went last week.
He had court in Carroll County today.
Okay, well.
Interesting that the person who was observed exiting her apartment that morning has had so many contacts with the legal system in so many different cities. If it says something to me, then you can be assured that it says something to the police.
Is there a reason I need to lie? You want me to call Carroll County and ask them?
Because you know who drove your vehicle.
I would have not the slightest idea if somebody took my car.
Alright, put your boots on, because the bullshit is about to get deep here. She is continuing to be evasive. To a reasonable person, does it sound plausible that someone she didn't know drove her car? Probably not. In a minute you'll also hear more about how she handles her keys.
I go to sleep at 9:30 at night when my children go to sleep. And I absolutely have no reason to run from the cops at whatever time in the morning you said it was. There would be no reason in the world I would need to run from the cops. I have license, insurance, I'm 100% legal. I have no warrants nowhere. I have nothing going on in my life that would make me run from the cops. At all.
No one has alleged that she was the person who engaged in a pursuit with the police. It was her vehicle that was identified as being involved. Evidence of who that driver was could potentially still be located in the vehicle. And because it is inherently mobile, the risk of the destruction of that evidence is great. Therefore, her truck falls under the vehicle exception to a warrantless search.
And he's staring right at me, trying to tell me I'm lying. There's 10,000 junkie losers that live in my apartment complex.
So then why would you leave your keys in your vehicle?
I leave my keys in my vehicle at all times.
Again, how many reasonable people leave their keys in their car at all times? Especially after acknowledging that the apartment complex is full of criminals and junkies. It's not reasonable. It's attempting to preemptively make an excuse for why she didn't have complete custody and control over the use of the vehicle. She's trying to create a reason as to why she wouldn't know that someone used her truck. It's evasive, if not outright lying.
But yet you have 10,000 junkies living.
Yeah, nobody has ever touched my car. Not ever. Not even one time has anybody ever touched my vehicle. I have no reason to lie. Period.
I call bullshit. She has a plethora of reasons to lie. Earlier in the video she was concerned that they had the VIN number of the vehicle from the pursuit. That would seem to indicate that she at least had some suspicions that something might have happened with her vehicle earlier in the morning. While they don't seem to think she was the driver, theoretically, she could have been. That could potentially make her a suspect, thus giving her a reason to lie. Also, protecting her baby daddy is another reason to lie to the cops.
And he has no reason to tow my vehicle either.
We do, because it was involved in the pursuit.
But unless there's proof of that, you can't tow my vehicle.
The time for proof is in court, not on the side of the road. Eyewitness testimony will place her vehicle as being the only one that could have been the vehicle involved. They observed the same make, model, color and license plate. That's enough for now. They can, legally, seize and tow her truck.
We have proof of that. Our officers were involved.
Okay, but is there proof of that though?
Yes, there is.
Okay, well I'm not
They
letting
described
you.
your vehicle. They gave your license plate.
Is there video footage of my vehicle?
There doesn't need to be video, but it probably does exist. I know that Chille preaches to his followers this false narrative, that if it's not captured on camera, that there is no proof, but for centuries before the invention of the camera, eyewitness testimony has been accepted as proof. Here we have 2 police officers who were eyewitnesses to this vehicle being involved.
Because you can't tow my vehicle, you can't make me get out of my vehicle.
You're gonna have to get out.
You can't tow it if you don't have a reason for it. I have literally the best attorney in Ohio, and I know my human rights, even if I didn't have an attorney.
Oh boy, watch out. She knows her human rights. What a fucking idiot. If it's true that she has the best lawyer in all of Ohio, then she should get him on the phone. However, I suspect he would tell her that she is wrong too. He'd probably tell her to exit the vehicle and stop talking. But realistically, I doubt she has a lawyer at all.
For something that happened last night, you can't.
3 a.m. this morning.
Same thing. Last night,
It took us
this
a while
morning.
to find you because I went to Front Street looking for you again.
I live right here.
Well,
And obviously he seen me leave this morning, they said. So they must not have been able to find me.
I could impose my own experience in guessing why one officer didn't know what another officer knew, but out of an abundance of caution, I won't. That said, that is why the law is clear on why she was required to update her address on her vehicle registration. They dispatched an officer to locate her, and the officer went to the wrong address.
Okay, you can watch me all you want. I do nothing illegal, so I'm being as cooperative as I can. I honestly wouldn't know who would be in my vehicle at 3 o'clock in the
So it
morning.
wouldn't be Mr. Sheets driving your vehicle?
No, he has drove my vehicle sometimes, but
Well, if you're saying that
I mean, he wouldn't. I mean, I would know. He would tell me at least if he came and used my car. Yeah, he would have asked me to use my car if he used my car, though, is what I'm saying. He's used my car before, and he has called and asked to use it.
Would he? Would he really have asked you? Really? Are you serious? He would ask you to use your car at 3 a.m., probably to go commit a crime? Do you want to try again? Because all I'm smelling is bullshit.
So, what do I need to do to get this taken care of? I have to be at a doctor's appointment before 1 o'clock, and it's, like, very seriously important. I can't not go to that doctor's appointment. So, what time is it? 12:30, 13? Okay.
I actually don't think you were allowed back in this Dollar General.
Yeah, that was over a year ago.
I know, but still, once you're kicked out, you're not allowed back.
Yeah, it's actually only for a year. They told me that at court.
Hmm?
It was only for a year. And I've talked to the person since then, and they allowed me back in there before that. I don't do anything illegal, so. And they dropped those charges too because
I did not. I just looked him up today.
If she will lie about charges being dropped, something that the officer can easily verify online, do you think she might lie about not doing anything illegal? Or that she might lie about not knowing who was driving her car just a few hours earlier? I'm just guessing here, but I don't think this police officer believes much about what she's saying.
yes, they
All 3 of
did.
You guys were charged with theft.
And they dropped the charge against me because my nephew and his girlfriend that actually committed the crime never showed up for court. And so it was dismissed. Why would I make something up out of my butt? I'm like, you guys, I don't need to lie. But thanks anyway. And am I being detained or can I leave? Is there a reason why? Or is that against my human rights? Unless I'm being detained, though, I can leave. So actually, yes, I can.
So, actually, no, you can't. In this situation, she would not be free to leave.
I could go to my doctor's appointment tomorrow, too. It's not going to stop me, by the way.
Because we're conducting a criminal investigation right now with this vehicle. This is our suspect vehicle.
My vehicle
from our
wasn't
pursuit.
used in a criminal...
Well, according to us, we have probable cause to believe that it is.
But
So,
what is your probable cause? Because somebody said that it was a black Tahoe. And I'm telling you, like, my vehicle was at home all night long.
Pursued this vehicle last night.
I didn't make that harsh cut. That was in the original video, and because of that we don't know what was said. Regardless, the officer has clearly stated the probable cause for the vehicle being stopped, impounded and towed. Now she has a decision to make. She can give consent to search, or the officer will either obtain a warrant to search it, or impound the truck and inventory search it. Those are her choices.
Hands down, this vehicle was pursued last night in a police
But how do you know it was this vehicle? Because I know for 100% fact that I parked my car last night, and I am the first person that got in it this morning.
And also when we pulled in here, there was a different plate on this vehicle than what's on here now. So
I don't even know how to change my license plates.
Okay, well,
I've never put license plates on in my life.
Okay.
I have my dad or somebody do it for me.
Like I said, we're conducting it, so you need to step on out here. Go ahead and shut the car off for me.
Okay, and why do I need to step out?
Because I want you out of the vehicle. We're conducting an investigation. I'm going to send her down for a search warrant for this vehicle.
Okay, so
as previously discussed, a warrant isn't required under the vehicle exception. However, the fact that they are in the process of obtaining one gives the officers authority to secure and close up the vehicle until the warrant is issued. Police can do that with a home as well. They are allowed to remove the occupants of a house or a vehicle and keep anyone from entering it until a warrant can be issued to secure evidence.
I'm sitting here until she gets back?
No.
I'm not going to freeze outside for no reason.
You're not going to freeze. You're not going to freeze. You can either wait in my car or you can walk back home. So one or the other.
Okay, so what are you doing with my vehicle?
I'm going to tow it. I'm going to get a search warrant for it, and I'm going to tow it.
Okay, why are you going to tow it?
Geez. How many times does this woman have to hear that her specific vehicle was involved in a pursuit, and it's being impounded and towed as evidence? Trying to say that she doesn't understand is just going to be viewed as a delay tactic. The problem for her is that no amount of delay is going to make the officers give up and go away.
What is your reason?
Come on, step out of the vehicle.
Hold on.
Step out of the vehicle. Come on, step out of the vehicle.
Record. Does she need to come back with me?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to need
Absolutely.
Okay, bring your tablet and record everything.
Step out of the vehicle.
And please don't jerk my door open like that, please.
Just step out of the vehicle.
And seriously, please don't assault me. I have a heart problem, and I swear to God I will die.
I included the video so you could see that he barely touched her arm. She's being overly dramatic, saying that she would die if he touched her. If she's that fragile, then she has no business driving a Chevy Tahoe. What a fucking drama queen.
You really just act like you were going to assault me?
Step out of the vehicle.
So don't yank my car door open like that again.
Step out of the vehicle, please.
Okay, what if my son's father used my car? Then I just tell you it was him, and then what?
Well, that's what we're trying to get.
That's what I'm trying to call him to ask him.
I don't believe that you were in this car last night. Okay?
I know I wasn't.
I don't believe that. Okay.
Yeah, and I know he has used my car in the middle of the night before.
Okay.
Now she admits he's used it in the middle of the night before. Earlier she said he always asks her if he can use it. She is distancing herself from the allegations that it was this vehicle.
That's why I'm trying to call him to ask him, did you use my fucking car? Because now I'm dealing with your bullshit. You know? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
So if he was him, what do I do?
Well, that would be easy if it was him. Then I don't have to go through all this process.
Yeah, so what do I do if it was? If he says,
yeah. If it was him, that would be the easiest.
That would be the easiest.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I mean, I'm not denying it was him at all. It could have been, but
I sympathize with you under that.
He stole my car before, and I just had to get all brand new tires because of him.
And I do not believe for 1 second that it was you driving this vehicle last night.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I don't know how to run from the cops if I tried.
I wouldn't think that you would, but like I said,
there's
no mistake about it. This car is the one that we were pursuing last night.
I think I forgot to show you. Or else it's that truck. So if it was him, what do I do now? After?
Then he's just going to have to come in and we'll charge him.
Turn himself in?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you won't tow my car? Or are you going to tow my car anyways?
Well, if you can get that figured out here before I can send her down for a search warrant.
Is there comes in and
I'm sorry.
I
know.
A warrant is obviously not necessary for a consent search. As the owner of the vehicle, she is more than welcome to give the officer permission to search the vehicle.
We just actually schlocked
That's what I said, shock season.
Is there another plate in this vehicle?
Not that I know of.
Do you care if I look in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. That would save you a lot of time.
I mean, there might be one from Oregon. back here. Because I do have my Oregon plates still. I don't think they're in here. Are you cold? Oh, you have a coat, but you're not even wearing it, so you must not be that cold.
Is he not answering or what?
No. He just has like a text screen type of thing too, so he doesn't even have a real phone number.
Yeah, if he wants to admit to driving it, then he don't have to tow it. But if he doesn't, then we're going to have to tow it so we can find out who was
That was another hard cut that's in the original video. We really needed to see what transpired in the cut footage, because clearly something did. But as we all know, Chille will cut out anything that doesn't align with his story.
I'll give them to her.
No,
I'll give them to her. She's my daughter.
You're going to give it to me.
Why would I need to give them to you?
You're under arrest. Put your hands up there on the hood. Put your hands over there.
Okay, why
Put
am
your
I
hand-
under arrest?
Turn around. I already told you you're for obstructing
You did
official
not.
police business.
You didn't tell me anything.
Well, she's going to tell you.
Actually.
She's going to tell you here right now.
because you were displaying a fictitious.
That is where the video ends. I can only assume that she spotted something incriminating in the back of the truck and attempted to conceal it. But that's only my assumption. If she was, however, that would explain why she was being arrested for obstruction. I hope you found this video interesting. I'm glad to get a short one for a change. If you would be so kind as to leave me a comment, like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.